American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault.
We call it the Department of War just because it shows our strength. By the way, we're going to start a war.
As everyone knows, the oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust, for a long period of time. They were pumping almost nothing by comparison to what they could have been pumping and what could have taken place.
This is supposed to be a press hearing after you bombed Venezuela because apparently they are narco-terrorists. Why the f*** are you talking about oil unless that's the reason you did it in the first place?
So we're going to stay until such time as we're going to run it, essentially.
We're going to run the country. We're there for oil, baby. We got all that motherfucking oil. I guess we're just chilling right now. Waiting for homie to start talking about Venezuela. Let's see. I think this could be like a good time to like look at some other fun stuff. Like this is a great video to watch.
Countries that the countries that negotiate with Venezuela for those that illegal oil are already starting to suffer. What do you see as the future of Venezuela's oil industry?
Well, I see that we're going to be very strongly involved in it. That's all. I mean, what can I say?
This doesn't set a narrative for, you know.
We have the greatest
I wonder why he would want to go in there and attack Venezuela.
oil companies in the world, the biggest, the greatest, and we're going to be very much involved. And if we can't do something like this, and we're prepared. You know, we were prepared to do a second wave. We were all set. And this was so lethal, this was so powerful that we didn't have to, but we're prepared. We're out there with an armada like nobody's ever seen before, and we're prepared, and frankly, probably thought we were going to have to do it, but we were prepared for a second wave going in.
That's so beautiful. I wonder why he wanted to go in there. You guys think he just wanted oil? No. That's fucking ridiculous. What is this? What do you think this is?
But we're buying oil from Venezuela. When I left, Venezuela was ready to collapse. We would have taken it over. We would have gotten all that oil. It would have been right next door.
Great.
But now we're buying oil from Venezuela, so we're making a dictator very rich. Can you believe this? Nobody can believe it.
Seems like, I don't know what this black guy's doing there, but seems like he really wants that oil. I wonder why. You know, in all honesty, though, what I will say is I do feel like if you've ever looked or paid attention to our glorious president, Donald Trump, you guys will notice something, and it's what we call the Epstein effect. Every single time something happens where there's a big bust in the Epstein files, some other controversy just comes out of nowhere, right? Just kind of random. You know, we had a big Epstein thing where, you know, he was supposed to release all the Epstein files, but he just decided not to. He released 1% of them. Oh, there he is. There he is. Oh, wait, there he is. Wow. But anyway, and then all of a sudden you have the RNC or the GOP reaching out to Nick Shirley, that fucking moron, and doing like a really shitty hit piece like that was, you know, completely like just unprofessional dog shit. Where'd that come from? You know, there was one time where there was a huge Epstein scare and then somebody took it to the neck. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just feels like there's always a distraction. And here we go. The Nick Shirley thing was a flop. And so now we're bombing Venezuela for oil, I guess.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're so welcome. Hey guys, if you're seeing this, my editor had to jam this into the middle of the video in an incredibly jarring way because I forgot to plug my Papa Gut Leftovers channel with some great hits like The DoorDash Girl Just Went to Court, or It's Time to Boycott Coke. And somewhere in here is me with my shirt off. So talking about the Boy Scouts. There you go. You'll love that. So go take a look if you like shorter form content.
We appreciate you being here.
We got the boys.
Late last night and early
Call them the War Dogs.
today,
Early today.
at my direction,
Yes, sir.
the United States
Yes, sir.
Armed Forces
Armed Forces.
conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela.
We did it.
Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault.
Ended 7 wars, I guess, though. Am I right?
And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II.
Wow, that's not really a brag.
It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas.
Wow.
To bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice.
Oh, not Nicolas Diorio.
This was one of the most stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American military might and competence.
Why? Isn't it funny? He called it the Department of War. He called it the Department of War, and then he does a war. Guys, he's not going to do it. We call, hey guys, we call it the Department of War, just because it shows our strength, that we could be ready for war. Oh, the Epstein files need to drop, and I didn't drop them yet. By the way, we're going to start a war. That's incredible. We love this guy.
In American history.
American history.
And if you think about it, we've done some other good ones like the attack on Soleimani.
Yeah, the attack on Titan.
The attack on al-Baghdadi.
Okay.
And the obliteration and decimation of the Iran nuclear sites.
Yeah.
Just recently.
Yeah.
In an operation known as Midnight Hammer.
Yep. Caleb.
All perfectly executed and done.
Perfectly. It's perfectly done.
No nation in the world could.
I don't know if it's a good idea to execute a war, but I guess he perfectly did that.
Achieve what America achieved yesterday, or frankly, in just a short period of time.
Wow.
All Venezuelan military capacities were rendered powerless as the men and women of our military, working with U.S. law enforcement, successfully captured Maduro in the dead of night. It was dark.
Whoa, really?
Lights of Caracas were turned off.
Wow, that's incredible.
Due to a certain expertise that we have. It was dark.
Yeah, he flipped the light switch.
It was deadly.
Yeah. Incredible.
But captured along with his wife, Celia Flores, both of whom now face American justice. Maduro and Flores have been indicted in the Southern District of New York. It's Jay Clayton, for their campaign of deadly narco-terrorism against the United States.
Is that what we're doing? We're calling it deadly narco-terrorism as a justifier for him to indiscriminately bomb a country? Like, I get it. They're not doing great over there. But do you really think it's a justifier just to do something that could be war-threatening? Give me a fucking break. Absolutely not. Give me an absolute fucking break. He just wants to go there for oil and to distract from the fucking Epstein files.
Citizens. I want to thank the men and women of our military who achieved such an extraordinary success overnight with breathtaking speed, power, precision, and competence.
Whoa.
You rarely see anything like it. You've seen some raids in this country that didn't go so well. They were an embarrassment. If you look back to Afghanistan, or if you look back to the Jimmy Carter days, they were different days.
Why does he shit on Jimmy Carter? Jimmy Carter, like, gave up his peanut farm so that there was no conflict of interest, and this guy's collected $3 billion so far through, like, fucking crypto or whatever. Like, he's gained $3 billion in net worth. It's crazy.
A respected country again, like maybe like never before.
Wow.
These highly trained warriors operating in collaboration with U.S. law enforcement.
So beautiful.
Caught them in a very ready position. They were waiting.
Whoa, they were waiting.
Before us, they knew.
Yeah, they have fentanyl of mass destruction. It's crazy, dude. What the fuck?
We had many ships out in the sea. We were just sort of waiting. We knew we were coming.
Yeah, not in a pond, in the sea.
So they were in a ready, what's called a ready position.
Thanks, man. Is that what you were for
Bubba?
Bubba?
They were completely overwhelmed and very quickly incapacitated.
Wow, who would have thought?
If you would have seen what I saw last night, you would have been very impressed. I'm not sure that you'll ever get to see it, but
wow, great.
It was an incredible thing to see. Not a single American service member was killed.
Nice.
And not a single piece of American equipment was lost.
That's so, except I guess those missiles or whatever.
Many helicopters, many planes, many...
I hope that he talks about Biden.
Many people.
Please talk about Biden, please.
Involved in that fight.
Please.
But think of that. Not one piece of military equipment was lost. Not one service member was, more importantly, killed.
Wow.
The United States military is the strongest and most fearsome military on the planet by far.
Great. Well, yeah, no.
With capabilities and skills our enemies can...
Is he having a stroke?
scarcely begin to imagine. We have the best equipment anywhere in the world.
Wow, beautiful.
There's no equipment like what we have, and you see
so
that.
Beautiful. You think he told that to the girls that he allegedly was on Epstein Island with? There's no equipment better than this, you know?
Look at the boats. You know, we've knocked out 97% of the drugs coming in by sea.
What is that? We just knocked it. How do we? I don't think that that's an actual statistic.
90%. Each boat kills 25 on average 25,000 people.
That's crazy.
We knocked out 97%.
Nice.
And those drugs mostly come from a place called Venezuela.
It's probably not true, but okay.
We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe.
We're going to run the country. We're there for oil, baby. We got all that motherfucking oil.
And judicious transition.
We just did to Venezuela what Russia's been trying to do to fucking Ukraine, bro. Holy fuck.
So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years.
Long period of years.
So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition.
Oh, yeah?
It has to be judicious.
Do you guys think that we're going to do, like, positive things? Like, when we were in Afghanistan, at least the women had more rights over there, and then we left and they had less rights. Do you think we're going to do, like, a thing where they have more rights over there, or do you think we're just going to sit there and wait for the oil to come into our fucking anuses? What do you think?
Because that's what we're all about. We want peace, liberty, and justice for the great people of Venezuela, and that includes many from Venezuela that are now living in the United States.
Wow.
And
they're actually kicking them all out?
Want to go back to their country. It's their homeland.
That's their homeland.
We can't take a chance that somebody else takes over Venezuela that doesn't have the good of the Venezuelan people in mind. We've had decades of that. We're not going to let that happen. We're there now, and what people don't understand, but they understand as I say this, we're there now, but we're going to stay until such time as the proper transition can take place. So we're going to stay until such time as we're going to run it, essentially, until such time as a...
You said that a few times, so...
proper transition can take place.
Wow. So beautiful.
As everyone knows, the oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust, for a long period of time. They were pumping almost nothing by comparison to what they could have been pumping and what could have taken place.
What the fuck are you talking about oil for? My man, just to be absolutely clear, this is supposed to be a press hearing after you bombed Venezuela because apparently they are narco-terrorists. Why the fuck are you talking about oil? Unless that's the reason you did it in the first place. He's just telling us in our ear, hey guys, we did this for the oil. And I guess maybe some drug stuff, I guess. By the way, I'm going to pardon drug people like the Silk Road guy. Oh, okay. Like, great stuff, man. Thanks. This is ridiculous.
We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world.
What the fuck?
Go in.
What?
Spend billions of dollars.
Oh my god.
Fix the badly broken infrastructure.
I don't care.
The oil infrastructure. And start making money for the country.
That's crazy, brother.
We are ready to stage a second and much larger attack if we need to do so. So we were prepared to do a second wave.
Wow.
If we needed to do so. We actually assumed that a second wave would be necessary, but now it's probably not.
That's great, brother. It's incredible.
The first
guys, by the way, this is why we allow asylum seeking, because people like Trump go in and destroy other countries and destabilize them significantly, and then they need to find asylum in our country because gangs take over and shit, and they get fucked and they lose money and they can't like survive and their economy destabilizes.
Wave, if you'd like to call it that. The first attack was so successful, we probably don't have to do a second, but we're prepared to do a second wave, a much bigger wave, actually. This was pinpoint, but we have a much bigger wave that
whoa, the hell?
Probably won't have to do.
Bigger wave.
This partnership of Venezuela with the United States of America, a country that everybody wants to be involved with because of what we were able to do and accomplish.
Yeah, I guess bomb you if you won't get involved with us. Is that what you're saying?
Will make the people of Venezuela rich, independent, and safe. And it will also make the many, many people from Venezuela that are living in the United States extremely happy. They suffer.
Oh, I'm sure they're thrilled that we bombed them. Holy fuck. He must be trolling. He must be trying to ruin his base or something.
They suffered. So much was taken from them. They're not going to suffer anymore.
That's beautiful.
The illegitimate dictator Maduro was the kingpin of a vast criminal network responsible for trafficking colossal amounts of deadly and illicit drugs into the United States. As alleged in the indictment, he personally oversaw the vicious cartel known as Cartel de las Solas, which flooded our nation with lethal poison, responsible for the deaths of countless Americans, the many, many Americans, hundreds,
look at this.
Thousands over the years of Americans died.
This is a quick thing. These are notable, drug lords that Trump has pardoned or granted clemency
because of him.
He cares about drugs, guys.
Maduro and his wife
he cares about drugs.
Face the full might of American justice and stand trial on American soil. Right now, they're on a ship. They'll be heading to, ultimately, New York.
Incredible.
And then a decision will be made, I assume, between New York and Miami or Florida. But we have people where the overwhelming evidence of their crimes will be presented in a court of law. And I've seen it. I've seen what we have. It's both horrible and breathtaking that something like this could have been allowed to take place.
Yeah.
For many years after his...
Some said that about the BLM, you know what I'm saying?
Term as president of Venezuela expired, Maduro remained in power and waged a ceaseless campaign of violence, terror...
Can you just say the same thing like 4 times again, over again?
And subversion against the United States of America, threatening not only our people, but the stability of the entire region. And you all saw it. In addition to trafficking gigantic amounts of illegal drugs that inflicted untold suffering and human destruction all over the country, all over, in particular, the United States.
Okay. Holy shit.
Maduro sent savage and murderous gangs, including the bloodthirsty prison gang, Tren de Aragua.
Wow, I can't believe you said that. Tren de Agua? Is that fucking Tren water?
Terrorize American communities nationwide, and he did indeed. They were in Colorado. They took over apartment complexes.
Whoa.
They cut the fingers off people if they call police.
That's terrible. That's terrible. Terrible.
But they're not so brutal now.
Yeah. Wait till they see what we do. We just bomb them. Fingers? How about all of you?
Just have to congratulate our military, Pete, and everybody, and our National Guard. Because the job that they've done, whether it's in Washington, D.C., where we have a totally safe city, where it was one of the most unsafe cities anywhere in the world, frankly.
Wow. In the whole world?
Washington, D.C.
Wow. We have even less safe than Venezuelan cities?
Had a killing. We had the terrorist attack.
The attacks and stuff.
Weeks ago. A little bit of a different kind of a threat. But we haven't had a killing in a long period of time, 6-7 months. We used to have 2.
Dude,
on average 2 a week.
6-7.
In Washington, our capital. We don't have that anymore.
So true. I don't know what he's saying. He's just saying things. I don't think anything he's saying is accurate. And I don't feel like fact-checking it because he's just boring. He's boring and he lies all the time.
Are opening. Everyone's happy. They're walking there.
Like the next thing you know, he's going to say that everybody in like fucking Venezuela is trans and that's why there's a problem because he fucking hates trans people. You know what I mean? Like it's just like he just talks. He just speaks. He's a fucking moron.
Daughters, they're walking their children, their wives, they walk to restaurants. Restaurants are opening all over Washington.
All over Washington. This is about, by the way, we basically indiscriminately fucking bombed the country. By the way, oil and Washington is cool.
I want to thank the National Guard. I want to thank our military, and I want to thank.
I want to think 6-7.
Been amazing.
Think 6-7.
And they should do it with more cities. We're doing it, as you know, and we're doing it in Memphis, Tennessee, right now, and crime is down. We've just sort of started a few weeks ago, but
yeah, it's tough to get your crime down when ICE is committing crimes. 6-7 unmarked cars, 6-7 face masks, 6-7 violating due process. It's incredible.
Crime is down now 77%. And
67%, he said.
Louisiana called. Great person.
Great person.
And he wanted us to help him, as you know. And
that's beautiful.
A certain very nice part of Louisiana. And we have done that. It was a rough section, and we have crime down. I understand it's down to almost nothing already after 2.5 weeks. New Orleans, it's down to almost nothing, and we've only been there for 2.5 weeks.
He's just looking at them, and they're just like, okay, look at how irritated they are.
I imagine why governors wouldn't want us to help.
Do they all know that their careers are over?
We also helped, as you know, in Chicago, and crime went down a little bit there. We did a very small help because we had no
help.
Working ability with the governor. The governor was a disaster, and the mayor was a disaster.
Guy's an asshole.
It knocked down crime, but we're pulling out of there. When they need us, we'll know. You'll know. You'll be writing about it. And likewise, Los Angeles, where we saved Los Angeles early on.
Oh, Lord, with what?
Where
how do we do that?
Head of the police department made a statement that if the federal government didn't come in, we would have lost Los Angeles.
That's probably not true.
Long after the fires.
So true. All
that's
fires.
They had the riots in Los Angeles. We did a great job. Got no credit for it.
What about January 6 riots?
That's okay. It doesn't matter. We don't need the credit.
Yeah, you're just talking about it now in a speech where you found a bunch of people.
We'll be pulling out when they need us.
Dude, can we just finally acknowledge that Trump is a deranged lunatic? Just to be clear, this is supposed to be, hey, we decided to bomb Venezuela for oil. No, he says we bombed Venezuela because they are really bad drug guys, narco-terrorists. He says those words. Then he yaps about how they have oil and how we have really cool oil companies to go take it over. And now he's yapping about California. Can't forget that. He's talking about Washington, D.C. He's pretty much just making the rounds. Soon he'll get to Biden. What else do we got? Can we just do more? What else are we going to talk about? Trump seems like the kind of guy, he's like the grandpa that just has nobody to talk to. So every time he starts talking to you, he tells you his entire life story. It's holy fuck, dude. This is insane.
So call, or we'll go back if we have to.
All right, let's decrease the speed.
Back. But we did a great job in various cities. Yep. But the place that we're very proud of is Washington, D.C., because it's our nation's capital. We took it from being a crime-ridden mess to being one of the safest cities in the country.
You're boring the shit out of me.
The gangs that they sent raped, tortured, and murdered American women and children.
That's
terrible.
All
of the cities I mentioned. Terrible.
What about you? Did you do any of those things on Epstein's Island? Or maybe you weren't there. I don't know. I don't think you were best friends with Epstein for 15 years, but okay.
And they were sent by Maduro to terrorize our people, and now Maduro will never again be able to threaten an American citizen or anybody from Venezuela. There will no longer be threats. For years, I've highlighted the stories of those innocent Americans whose lives were so heartlessly robbed by this Venezuelan terrorist organization. Really one of the worst. One of the worst. They say the worst. Americans like 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungari from Houston.
Terrible.
Beautiful Jocelyn Nungari. What happened to her?
Terrible.
They, as you know, they kidnapped, assaulted, and murdered by Tren de Aragua animals. They murdered Jocelyn and left her dead under the bridge. It was a bridge that will never be the same for so many people after seeing what happened. As I've said many times, the Maduro regime emptied out their prisons, sent their worst and most violent monsters into the United States to steal American lives. And they came from mental institutions and insane asylums. They came from prisons and jails. The reason I say both, they sound similar. Actually, prisons, a little bit more hostile, a little bit tougher.
That makes sense now why Asmongold constantly talks about how we need insane asylums again, because Trump is saying that people were let out of insane asylums and they're attacking the United States. Now it makes sense where he gets that low IQ talking point.
Institution is an insane asylum, but we got them both. They sent from their mental institutions, they sent from their jails, prisons. They were drug dealers, they were drug kingpins. They sent everybody bad into the United States.
He's still going.
No longer, and we have now a border where nobody gets through. In addition, Venezuela unilaterally seized and sold American oil, American assets, and American platforms, costing us billions and...
Yep, lots of oil. That's a good question. Do I still think that he shouldn't be impeached? No, let him keep doing it. Let him keep acting like a fucking fool. He's already... The Republicans have already ruined your health care. They got rid of the Biden's... the Biden's expansion of subsidies for Obamacare to make it cheaper for middle-class Americans to get on there. They've already ruined that. They've already fucked the economy up. Everybody but GDP's up. Sorry, unintelligent person. I actually look at the graph, and the graph doesn't say... It does say that we have high GDP. It also says this thing's called a K. There's 3 of them. Trump has 3 Ks. The K curve. What is a K curve? It means lower and middle-class people are spending less. Rich people are spending more. I don't care if we have an upward trend of GDP that's 4.3% instead of 2.5% if all the money is going to the top. if rich people have more money to spend because they're getting tax cuts, right? But like, keep letting it happen. People are going to lose their health care. They're going to lose their social security. They're going to lose their jobs. Everything's more expensive. Everything is a mess. We're going into more wars. We protect pedophiles, not just Jeffrey Epstein or potentially Trump. We have issues with like Andrew Tate, sex trafficking rapist guy. He uses his administration to pressure Romania to let them off their travel ban, and then when they came here, he uses his administration to say like, hey, listen, Florida, don't go after him, it's okay. So I mean, like, what else do you want, man? He's like pardoning drug criminals, like the guy who made Silk Road, huge drug fucking kingpin. I mean, like, he doesn't give a shit. This guy's a fucking a monster. And you know what? Well, keep it coming. Keep it coming. I'm sorry to everybody that's impacted, but keep it coming. And if you voted MAGA and your life is impacted and people around you are getting harmed, that's your fault, bitch. So suck a fucking dick, because apparently you're too stupid to look at actual things in front of your face and go, that's not good. Like, you're the kind of person that would fucking you would play with like a pet snake that was venomous. That's the one that bites you and makes you sick. Poisonous is if you eat it. Just so you guys, MAGA probably didn't know that. Yeah, we got to keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Billions of dollars. They did this a while ago, but we never had a president that did anything about it. They took all of our property.
Took it all. We built property. We built that.
We never had a president that decided to do anything about it. Instead, they fought wars that were 10,000 miles away. We built Venezuela oil industry with American talent, drive, and skill, and the socialist regime stole it from us during those previous administrations, and they stole it through force. This constituted one of the largest thefts of American property in the history of our country. Considered the largest theft of property in the history of our country. Massive oil infrastructure was taken like we were babies, and we didn't do anything about it. I would have done something about it. America will never allow foreign powers to rob our people or drive us back into and out of our own hemisphere.
Bro, you're pushing the Russian narrative that Ukraine started the war. I don't know. You're obviously a Russian asset. What the fuck are you talking about? You're saying that they ran massive disinformation campaigns. You got 34 indictments in the Mueller investigation. You're obviously a Russian asset. Get the fuck out of here.
That's what they did. Furthermore, under the now deposed dictator Maduro, Venezuela was increasingly hosting foreign adversaries in our region and acquiring menacing offensive weapons that could threaten U.S. interests and lives. And they used those weapons last night. Potentially in league with the cartel.
They used weapons to defend themselves yesterday? That's fucking crazy. Why would they do that?
It's operating along our border. All of these actions were in gross violation of the core principles of American foreign policy, dating back more than 2 centuries. And not anymore. All the way back, it dated to the Monroe Doctrines. And the Monroe Doctrine is a big deal. But we've superseded it by a lot. By a real lot. They now call it the Dunroe Document. I don't know. It's Monroe Doctrine. We sort of forgot about it. It was very important, but we forgot about it. We don't forget about it anymore. Under our new national security strategy, American dominance in the Western Hemisphere will never be questioned again. Won't happen. So just in concluding, for decades, other administrations have neglected or even contributed to these growing security.
The Monroe Doctrine is a foundational U.S. foreign policy from 1823 declaring the Western Hemisphere off limits to new European colonization. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but okay.
Threats in the Western Hemisphere. Under the Trump administration, we are reasserting American power in a very powerful way in our home region. And our home region is very different than it was just a short while ago. The future will be, and we did this in my first term. We had great dominance in my first term, and we have far greater dominance right now. Everyone's coming back to us. The future will be determined by the ability to protect commerce and territory and resources that are core to national security. These are core to our national security. Just like tariffs are, they made our country rich, and they've made our national security stronger than ever.
They have not made our country rich. We still have a profound deficit that Trump cannot meaningfully lower.
Ever before. But these are the iron laws that have always determined global power. And we're going to keep it that way. We will secure our borders. We will stop the terrorists. We will crash the cartels. And we will defend our citizens against all threats, foreign and domestic. Other presidents may have lacked the courage or whatever to defend America.
He's talking about Biden.
But I will never allow terrorists.
Guys, did you know that? You know what Joe Biden's doing right now? Went on vacation. What an asshole.
Am I right, Tommy Lauren?
Terrorists and criminals to operate with impunity against the United States. This extremely successful operation should serve as warning to anyone who would threaten American sovereignty or endanger American lives. Very importantly, the embargo on all Venezuelan oil remains in full effect. The American Armada remains poised in position, and the United States retains all military options until United States demands have been fully met and fully satisfied.
Wow.
All political and military figures in Venezuela should understand what happened to Maduro can happen to them, and it will happen to them if they aren't just fair, even to their people. The dictator and terrorist, Maduro, is finally gone in Venezuela. People are free. They're free again. It's been a long time for them, but they're free. America is a safer nation this morning. It's a prouder nation this morning because it didn't allow.
You think it's a safe? We think we're a safer nation now that we engaged in an active declaration of war in some capacity. You're saying we're more safe. You don't think that this could potentially turn into a worldwide conflict? Okay.
Now, this horrible person and this country that was doing very bad.
What do you think? World War III? You think it's going to be America and Russia on the same side? America, Russia, and North Korea? I don't know.
Bad things to us. It didn't allow it to happen. And the Western Hemisphere is right now a much...
Then China backs with Europe, and then all of a sudden, China is able to have an impact on Europe to make them less of a Western country.
Safer place to be.
Whoa.
So I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank General Raisin Cane. He's fantastic. Man, I've worked with a lot of generals. I worked with some I didn't like.
General Raisin Canes? Isn't that food?
some I didn't respect. I worked with some that just weren't good.
What?
Didn't allow it to happen. And the Western Hemisphere is right now a much safer place to be. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank General Raisin Cane. He's fantastic.
His name is General Raisin Canes.
Man, I've worked with a lot of generals. I worked with some I didn't like. I worked with some I didn't respect. I worked with some that just weren't good. But this guy is fantastic.
Wow. Okay.
Watched last night one of the most precise attacks on sovereignty. I mean, it was an attack for justice.
I don't think he's okay.
I'm very proud of him, and I'm very proud of our Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, who I'm going to ask to say a few words. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, can you explain how the U.S. will run Venezuela? Well, thank you, Mr. President. Finally, a commander-in-chief the world respects and the American people deserve. And as the President said, words can barely capture the bravery and the power and the precision of this historic operation. A massive joint military and law enforcement raid flawlessly executed.
You guys bombed a third world country. You guys are acting like it's fucking crazy.
By the greatest Americans our country has to offer. American warriors are second to none. The best in the world and the best of our country. What all of us witnessed last night was sheer guts and grit, gallantry and glory of the American warrior. I'm simply humbled by such men.
This is pathetic.
Man, and I tip my hat to our chairman, Dan Raisin Cane, and all those Americans who stood watch last night. Our warriors are the elite of America, and again, President Trump has your back. No other country on planet Earth, and it's not even close, could pull this kind of operation off. And no other president has ever shown this kind of leadership, courage, and resolve. The most powerful combination the world has ever seen. As the president said, our adversaries remain on notice. America can project our will anywhere, anytime.
Wow, so I think we call that bullying.
The coordination, the stealth, the lethality, the precision, the very long arm of American justice, all on full display in the middle of the night. Nicolas Maduro had his chance, just like Iran had their chance, until they didn't and until he didn't. He effed around, and he found out.
Whoa.
President Trump is deadly serious.
He should have known that he needed to give us his oil.
About stopping the flow of gangs and violence to our country. Deadly serious about stopping the flow of drugs and poison to our people. Deadly serious about getting back the oil that was stolen from us. And deadly serious about reestablishing American deterrence and dominance in the Western Hemisphere. This is about the safety, security, freedom, and prosperity of the American people. This is America first. This is peace through strength. And the United States War Department is proud to help deliver it. Welcome to 2026, and under President Trump, America is back. I'd like to welcome now
I'm trying to understand what the fuck it means when he keeps saying that they stole oil from us. So it's just a lie. I didn't know if you guys know this, but sometimes the Trump administration will lie. I know, shocker. But apparently, in the 1970s and early 2000s, so at least 25 years ago, what the Venezuelan, the nationalization of Venezuelan oil industry, which I believe that just means that they socialized their oil. Spooky stuff. Ooh. The government seized assets from foreign companies, and some of those were American ones. And so, under an international law, countries own the natural resources within their borders. So it's not actually theft. Venezuela nationalized its oil reserves and industry as a sovereign act and took control of assets from companies that refused to accept new terms for joint ventures. Yeah, so it looks like USA wouldn't go along with it. Either way, we're talking about something that's over 20 years old. So this isn't like, hey, they stole this like last year and we're doing something about it. This is something where they legally decided that their oil was their oil. It sounds like America didn't want to deal with whatever terms they wanted to engage in. And now Donald Trump bombed them to take oil under this guise that it was about oil. Under this guise that it was about drugs. Because it was not about drugs. Obviously, he's a fucking lying piece of shit. It's not about drugs. It's about oil. And that's his justifier. That's it. It's as simple as that. That's his justifier. It's very, very clear and explicit that Trump was trying to have an excuse to distract from the Epstein files and that he was trying to have domination over the oil. That's it. It's so obvious and basic. If you don't think that that's true, you're just an idiot.
Our Chairman Raisin Cane, to give a few more details about the operation.
Wow. How about some chicken, too? Raisin Cane's chicken.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning. Last night, on the order of the President,
Trump's in there thinking, I could have read this. Why the hell did I have to stop speaking?
The United States, and in support of a request from the Department of Justice, as the President said, the United States military conducted an apprehension mission in Caracas, Venezuela, to bring to justice two indicted persons, Nicolas and Cecilia Maduro. This operation, known as Operation Absolute Resolve, was discreet, precise, and conducted during the darkest hours of January 2nd, and was the culmination of months of planning and rehearsal. an operation that, frankly, only the United States military could undertake. What I'd like to do this morning is talk you through some of the preparation and the details without compromising any of our tactics, techniques, and procedures. There is always a chance that we'll be tasked to do this type of mission again. Our interagency work began months ago and built on decades of experience of integrating complex air, ground, space, and maritime operations. While the past 2 decades have honed the skills of our special operations forces, this particular mission required every component of our joint force, with soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Guardians working in unison with our intelligence agency partners and law enforcement teammates.
Whoa, that's a good question. Like, what's to stop China or Russia from overextending themselves into Taiwan or Ukraine and feeling empowered by it? We're not living by what we're saying we're going to do. So,
in an unprecedented operation, we leveraged our unmatched intelligence capabilities and our years of experience in hunting terrorists. And we could not have done this mission without the incredible work by various intelligence agencies, including the CIA, NSA, and NGA. We watched, we waited, we prepared, we remained patient and professional. This mission was meticulously planned, drawing lessons from decades of missions over the last many years. Many
guy's fucking throat pussy going on.
Missions over these last many years. This was an audacious operation that only the United States could do. It required the utmost of precision and integration.
Yeah. How many times are we going to hear that? Just maybe hope it like 7 more times.
Within our joint force. And the word integration does not explain the sheer complexity of such a mission. An extraction so precise, it involved more than 150 aircraft launching across the Western Hemisphere in close coordination, all coming together in time and place to layer effects for a single purpose: to get an interdiction force into downtown Caracas while maintaining the element of tactical surprise. Failure of one component of this well-oiled machine would have endangered the entire mission, and failure is never an option for America's joint force. Those in the air over Caracas last night were willing to give their lives for those on the ground and in the helicopters. Let me talk a little bit about the preparation. After months of work by our intelligence teammates to find Maduro and understand how he moved, where he lived, where he traveled, what he ate, what he wore, what were his pets, in early December, our force was set pending a series of aligned events. Key was choosing...
Early December? This doesn't seem like it was planned for very long at all.
The right day to...
Did he just say... What?
Where he traveled, what he ate, what he wore, what were his pets. In early December, our force was set pending a series of aligned events. Key was choosing the right day to minimize the potential for civilian harm and maximize the...
So they were just watching him for a while, and then they decided in December that they were going to go do some stuff because they needed to distract from the Epstein files?
Element of surprise and minimize the harm to the indicted personnel, so as the president said, they could be brought to justice. And as the president said earlier today, weather in Venezuela is always a factor this time of the year. And over the weeks through Christmas and New Year's, the men and women...
Yeah, he probably learned about the weather issue from Santa Claus. He's like, Santa's like, this fucking crazy. I can't deliver any presents to this third world country, Trump. He's like, oh shit, give me the weather patterns. We want to go after this guy. Drop him off a gift from us. Ho ho ho. Maduro, you know what I mean?
Of the United States military sat ready, patiently waiting for the right triggers to be met and the president to order us into action. Last night, the weather broke just enough, clearing a path that only the most skilled aviators in the world could maneuver through. Ocean, mountain, low cloud ceilings. But when tasked with a mission, this organization does not quit. At 10:46 p.m. Eastern Time last night, the president ordered the United States military to move forward with this mission. He said to us, and we appreciate it, Mr. President, good luck and Godspeed.
Wow, he said good luck? That's fucking so hard. Thoughts and prayers? Godspeed. Yeah, that's true. He said he wanted to do this on Christmas. True, I forgot about that. I think I saw that, but he wanted to make it like a Christmas gift or some bullshit, right?
And those words were transmitted to the entire joint force. Over the course of the night, aircraft began launching from 20 different bases on land and sea across the Western Hemisphere. In total, more than 150 aircraft, bombers, fighters, intelligence, reconnaissance, surveillance, rotary wing were in the air last night.
That's incredible. Did you guys know that we haven't passed, once again, our military didn't pass an audit? It's like the 8th year in a row. Hey, drain the swamp, dude. Taxpayer dollars. Hey, at least it didn't go to Israel. This time, it went to Venezuela. So, it's incredible stuff, guys. It's incredible.
Thousands and thousands of hours of experience.
Thousands.
Were airborne. Our youngest crew member was 20, and our oldest crew member...
You know what else is airborne? The measles coming back. Making a return from RFK is like, hey, guys, you don't need the vaccine. And then, well, it's coming back. Who would have thought that would happen?
Was 49, and there's simply no match for American military might. As the night began, the helicopters took off with the extraction force, which included law enforcement officers, and began their flight into Venezuela at 100 feet above the water. As they approached Venezuelan shores, the United States began layering different effects provided by Spacecom, Cybercom, and other members of the interagency to create a pathway.
Where was SpaceX? Was Elon Musk there? Was he driving Cybertrucks?
Overhead, those forces were protected by aircraft from the United States Marines, the United States Navy, the United States Air Force, and the Air National Guard.
Sounds like you guys sent like 500 people to arrest like 2 people. It's fucking incredible.
Force included F-22s, F-35s, F-18s, EA-18s.
Don't have F-67s?
E-2s, B-1 bombers, and other support aircraft, as well as numerous remotely piloted drones. As the force began to approach Caracas, the Joint Air Component began dismantling and disabling the air defense systems in Venezuela, employing weapons to ensure the safe passage of the helicopters into the target area. The goal of our air component is, was, and always will be to protect the helicopters and the ground force and get them to the target and get them home. As the force crossed the last point of high terrain where they'd been hiding in the clutter, we assessed that we had maintained totally the element of surprise.
Wow, beautiful.
As the helicopter force ingressed towards the objective at low level, we arrived at Maduro's compound at 1:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 2:01 a.m. Caracas local time.
Beautiful.
And the apprehension force descended into Maduro's compound and moved with speed, precision, and discipline towards their objective, and isolated the area to ensure the safety and security of the ground force while apprehending the indicted person.
Trump is so bored. Me too, man. So relatable, Trump. So relatable. Don't we get bored and we're like, what the frick? When we get bored and we just start rubbing our pussy neck against our fucking tie. It's incredible. It's such a relatable thing.
On arrival into the target area, the helicopters came under fire, and they replied with that fire with overwhelming force and self-defense. One of our aircraft was hit, but remained
self-defense. You guys were attacking them. How is that self-defense?
Flyable, and as the president said earlier today,
guys, I ran at somebody and they took a knife out, so I shot him. It was self-defense.
All of our aircraft came home, and that aircraft remained flyable during the rest of the mission.
Wow.
As the operation unfolded at the compound, our air and ground intelligence teams provided real-time updates to the ground force, ensuring those forces could safely navigate the complex environment without unnecessary risk.
Fucking snooze
the force
fest.
remained
Holy
protected
shit.
by overhead tactical aviation. Maduro and his wife, both indicted, gave up and were taken into
hell?
custody by the Department of Justice, assisted by our incredible U.S. military with professionalism and precision, with no loss of U.S. life. After securing the indicted persons, the force began to prep for departure. Helicopters were called in to exfiltrate the extraction force.
Whoa, look at this.
Persons, the force began to prep.
Look at this. He's looking at his ass. Look at this. Hold on a second.
Department of Justice.
Looking at his ass. Looking at his ass.
With professionalism and
looking at his ass.
With no loss.
His eyes, his ass.
After securing the indicted persons, the force began to prep for departure. Helicopters
looking at that sweet ass again.
The extraction.
This is Marco Rubio. That's a sweet ass, am I right? You know, give him the eyebrows. Hey, what do you think about that ass?
The indicted
Look at this ass.
The force began to prep for departure. Helicopters were called in to exfiltrate the extraction force.
Oh, they're both looking at his ass. They're both looking at this guy's tight little pussy or something. That's fucking crazy.
While fighter aircraft and remotely piloted aircraft provided overhead coverage and suppressive fire.
Yeah,
there were multiple self-defense engagements as the force began to withdraw out of Venezuela.
This
the force successfully exfiltrated and returned to their afloat launch.
Oh, he's covering his boner.
The force was over the water at 3:29 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with indicted persons on board. And both Maduro and his wife were embarked aboard the USS Iwo Jima.
Trees bark?
In closing, what we've witnessed today is a powerful demonstration of America's joint force. We think, we develop, we train, we rehearse, we debrief, we rehearse again and again.
Sounds like theater. Gay.
Not to get it right, but to ensure that we cannot get it wrong. Our jobs are to integrate combat powers so when the order comes, we can deliver overwhelming force at the time and the place of our choosing against any foe anywhere in the world. I am immensely proud today of our joint force and filled with gratitude to represent them here today. There is simply no mission too difficult for these incredible professionals and the families that stand by them and support them. As we stand here this morning, our forces remain in the region at a high state of readiness, prepared to project power, defend themselves, and our interests in the region. This operation is a testament to the dedication and unwavering commitment to justice and our resolve to hold accountable those who threaten peace and stability.
Wow.
In closing,
do you guys know we give like $1 trillion a year to the military that can't pass an audit? But apparently if we just took like 5 to 10% of that money per year, we could end world hunger. Wow.
I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to the brave men and women who
executed
this mission.
Say something about
Their
God.
courage and tireless commitment to our nation are what makes us strong.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and thank you, Mr. President.
Whoa, he didn't blame God.
Well, I don't have what you've heard now.
Thank God. Shut up.
Maduro was indicted in 2020 in the United States
He is not the legitimate president of Venezuela. That's not just us saying it. The first Trump administration, the Biden administration, the second Trump administration, none of those three recognize him. He's not.
I like how the first person you referenced was Trump about 8 years ago.
Recognized by the European Union and multiple countries around the world. He is a fugitive of American justice with a $50 million reward, which I guess we saved $50 million. And
we should make sure.
Yeah, exactly. But
don't let anybody claim it. Nobody deserves it but us.
But I want to be clear about one thing. Nicolas Maduro had multiple opportunities to avoid this. He was provided multiple very, very, very generous offers and chose instead to act like a wild man, chose instead to play around.
Hey, you know what's crazy? Netanyahu, I'm pretty sure, is a fugitive. Isn't he like a bad guy? Pretty sure he does war crimes. Hey, Trump, hey, we got to get rid of this Venezuelan guy. He's does some drugs and he has lots of oil that we want. That's beautiful stuff. Nobody recognizes him as legitimate. Hey, Netanyahu, does that guy do war crimes? Yeah, he has done war crimes. It's pretty well recognized. What if we arrested that guy? No, but let's invite him over and tug his Johnson off. Let me tug him off. Trump, let me use this neck ussy for something good here. Let me wrap this around that fucking circumcised schmingle. Let me blast that shit off. What the fuck? What the fuck are we doing, dude? You know, what is this, a virtue signal? What do we do? Hey guys, let's make it so everybody's a criminal in the world, and then when we decide, we can bomb them and take their oil. That's an excellent plan. You're the enemy. You've been our enemy.
And the result is what we saw tonight. The other message here is the following. You have a guy, like many people around the world, they like to play games. You have a guy who decides he's going to invite Iran into his country, is going to, do the confiscation of American oil companies, is going to flood our country with gang members, is going to take Americans prisoner and try to hold them for hostage and trade them like he was able to do with the Biden administration. Basically likes to play games all this time and thinks nothing's going to happen. And I hope what people now understand is that we have a president. The 47th president of the United States is not a game player. When he tells you that he's going to do something, when he tells you he's going to address a problem, he means it.
Whoa. What about the Epstein files? He didn't address that.
I can tell you, I've watched this process now for 14, 15 years, been around it. Everybody talks. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. When I get there, we're going to do this. We're going to This is a president of action. Like, I don't understand yet how they haven't figured this out.
Look at this neck bulge. She's got a whole ass cock down that thing.
Now, if you don't know, now you know. Because this is the way it's going to play out. And I think people need to understand that this is not a president that just talks and does letters and press conferences. And, if he says he's serious about something, he means it. And this is something that was a direct threat to the national interest of the United States, and the president addressed it. This is the president of peace, by the way. I told you what I just said earlier. This guy had multiple opportunities to find his way somewhere else and figure out another. He could have been living somewhere else right now, very happy, but instead he wanted to play big boy. And so now, he's got other sets of problems on his hands.
Question: if he turned himself in, does he get the $50 million? It's very important.
And but I think that the message here should be for the world. Look, the president doesn't go out looking for people to pick fights with. He's not generally wants to get along with everybody. We'll talk and meet with anybody, but don't play games. Don't play games with this president's in office because it's not going to turn out well. And so I hope that I guess. That lesson was learned last night, and we hope it'll be instructive moving forward.
Mr. President.
That's so beautiful. It makes sense to me. I don't think that people understand this, but Venezuela, tons of drugs, lots of fentanyl, I guess. And I don't know if you guys know this, but when some people say this, and I didn't know if this is true. I've heard Trump say this before. Trump was telling me personally, this is not satire. He's like, there was a lot of fent in Kirk's system. And I was like, Trump, that's not the way that's true. He's like, it's true, And I don't think it's true, but you know what? Some people lie, I guess, and people said that about George Floyd and said that's why he died. But I personally would rather listen to the coroner report. But Charlie's like, no, we must lie. So apparently that happened to Charlie, and Trump's like, we got to get him back. And somebody asked me how he was doing. How I was feeling about him dying, and I was like, oops, let me talk about my ballroom. And I felt bad, so I decided to go bomb Venezuela a year later, 2 months later. Wow. Well, it's a year, right? Because it's a new year. So I think that's why he did the whole Venezuela thing. Isn't that incredible? Wow, it's so terrible. It's just ridiculous. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy that he definitely said that. It's crazy that he definitely said that. He's just trying to get revenge for his friend. Incredible. Mr. President, please talk again. Mr. President?
You said that the U.S. is going to run Venezuela, so who's in power right now?
Well, we're going to be running it with a group, and we're going to make sure it's run properly. We're going to rebuild the oil.
Is it going to be a group of oil people?
Infrastructure, which will cost billions of dollars. It'll be paid for by the oil companies directly. They will be reimbursed for what they're doing, but it's going to be paid.
Oh, the oil companies are going to pay for it, but also we're going to give them their money back. The government, guys, we're funding it. Guys, we have a really big problem with the money. What are we going to do? We got to give it to oil companies so they can make more money. That's really smart.
And we're going to get the oil flowing the way it should be. As you know, it was just a minor flow. It was actually a minor flow for what they have. but we're going to run it properly.
Why the fuck do I care if they didn't want to run their oil dry? We don't either.
Make sure the people of Venezuela are taken care of. We're going to make sure the people that were forced out of Venezuela by this thug are also taken care of.
Mr. President, does the U.S. running the country mean that U.S. troops will be on the ground? How will that work?
Well, you know, they always say boots on the ground. Oh, so we're not afraid of boots on the ground if we have to have. We had boots on the ground last night at a very high level, actually.
Of course you'd have to have boots on the ground, you fucking idiot moron. Not her, him, idiot. Oh, maybe, I don't know. What, do you know anything? You'd have to, of course, have boots on the ground. You'd have to have like a military presence there to like maintain control of the country. Is he stupid? What a fucking moron. You don't think that like other drugs or other gangs or whatever are going to go in there and be like, hey, we're going to do this now. You idiot.
We're not afraid of it. We don't mind saying it. But we're going to make sure that that country is run properly. We're not doing this in vain. This is a very dangerous attack. This is an attack that could have gone very, very badly. Could have gone very badly. We could have lost a lot of people last night. We could have lost a lot of dignity. We could have lost a lot of equipment. The equipment is less important, but we could have lost a lot. And we're going to make sure that this is proper. We're there now. Whoa. We're ready to go again if we have to. We're going to run the country right. It's going to be run very judiciously, very fairly. It's going to make a lot of money. We're going to give money.
Just like we're doing in America. We're doing a great job violating due process. Stack the Supreme Court.
The people, we're going to reimburse people that were taken advantage of. We're going to take care of everybody. Yeah. It's very important.
People that got taken advantage of, oil billionaires.
We couldn't let them get away with it. You know, they
it's so funny.
Our oil. We built that whole industry there, and they just took it over like we were nothing.
We just built them. We just built the whole industry over there.
Not to do anything about it. So we did something about it. We're late, but we did something about it. Yep.
Can you explain the exact mechanism by which you're going to run the country? Are you going to designate a U.S. official to coordinate?
It's all being done right now. We're designating people. We're talking to people. We're designating various people, and we're going to let you know who those people are.
Don't you love that answer? So either he does know or he doesn't know. I know that's crazy commentary. If he does know, he's not telling us because he knows that it's really bad, because it would be an oil company person. If he doesn't know, it's because this wasn't planned for the amount of time he pretended it was planned for.
What's the group you mentioned that would run Venezuela?
Well, it's largely going to be for a period of time. The people that are standing right behind me.
It sounds like what it sounds like to me, and I don't really know anything. It sounds like there is an opposition group in Venezuela that was willing to play ball with Trump, and he's like, "Oh, okay, work with us real quick." Where does his dog piss? I don't mention dogs before. All right, we're gonna go attack him now. Woo! Woo! And we went over there and we did it with almost no preparation. Incredible.
We'll be running it. We're going to be bringing it back. It's a dead. You know, I talk about a dead country. A year and a half ago, we were a dead country. Now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're a country doing better than any country anywhere in the world.
Yeah. And Trump thinks that we're the hottest country because we're one of the youngest countries.
It required leadership. Venezuela has a lot of bad people in there. A lot of bad people that shouldn't be leading. We're not going to take a chance that one of those people take over for Maduro. So you can look at and others. We have fantastic people, including people in the military. So we're going to have a group of people running it until such time as it can be put back on track, make a lot of money for the people, and give people a great way of life, and also reimbursement for people in our country that were forced out of Venezuela.
You said earlier today that you weren't going to back Machado to come back and be the opposition leader in your Fox and Friends interview, and then you also mentioned the vice president of Venezuela. Are you going to work with the vice president of Venezuela, or how do you foresee the relationship
going? I understand she was just sworn in, but she was, as you know, picked by Maduro. So Marco's working on that directly. He just had a conversation with her, and she's essentially willing to do what we think is necessary to make Venezuela great again. Very simple.
Oh, okay. So the vice president's going to take over. So you work. Okay, it sounds like what. Okay, it sounds like what he did. He worked with the vice president to say, "Give me all the information you can. We want to go after Maduro, and then you'll be president." Yeah. Hey guys, Maduro, who picked his own vice president, we're going to pick her because she said she'll work with us. Wow, this is so transparent. Holy fuck.
Mr. President, Colombian President Gustavo Petro, a couple weeks ago, he said he's got to watch his ass. And today, he said he's not concerned about anything happening.
Dude, what's with this guy and watching asses?
To him in the aftermath of this operation. So, just what your message is?
Well, he has cocaine mills. He has factories where he makes cocaine.
Wow.
And yeah, I think I stick by my first.
Don't we do that too, like opiates? We don't really regulate those too well, do we?
He's making cocaine. They're sending it into the United States, so he does have to watch his ass.
Mr. President, did you notify any members of Congress in advance?
Marco, do you want to talk about that because you were involved?
Sure. We called members of Congress immediately after. This was not the kind of mission that you can do congressional notification on. It was a
okay. So the answer is no.
Trigger-based mission in which conditions had to be met night after night. We watched and monitored that for a number of days.
It happens.
So it's just simply not the kind of mission you can call people and say, hey, we may do this at some point in the next 15 days. But it's largely a law enforcement function. Remember, at the end of the day, at its core, this was an arrest of 2 indicted fugitives of American justice.
Whoa.
And the Department of War supported the Department of Justice in that job. Now, there are broader policy implications here, but it's just not the kind of mission that you can pre-notify.
The Department of War just did a war.
It endangers the mission.
Plus, if I can add one thing to that, Congress has a tendency to leak. This would not be good. If they leaked, General, I think it would have been maybe a very different result. But I have to say, they knew we were coming at some point. A lot of ships out there. They sort of knew we were coming. But Congress will.
That's not what this is about. It's not about who knows it. It's not whether somebody knows whether they're coming or not. It's about getting congressional approval, idiot.
Leak, and we don't want leakers.
Mr. President, you were one of the only people to watch this all play out live. What was Maduro doing when the U.S. forces entered what I assume would be his home? And also,
jorking it.
Is there any point where
straight
the US
fucking
was considering
torquing his
Maduro
dick,
pushed back or resisted killing Maduro?
blasting that fucking shit?
It could have happened. He was trying to get into a safe place. You know what a safe place is? All steel.
No, I have no idea what a safe place is, Trump. Can you explain it to me?
And he wasn't able to make it to the door because our guys were so fast. They went through the opposition so fast. And there was a lot of opposition. People were wondering, do we get them by surprise? Sort of surprise, but they were waiting for something. It was a lot of opposition. There was a lot of gunfire. You saw some of it today. But he was trying to get to a safe place, which wasn't safe because we would have had the door blown up in about 47 seconds, they say on average. Regardless of how thick the steel was.
47, that's your number of your presidency.
47. Very heavy door,
7 seconds.
To that door. He made it to the door. He was unable to close it.
So where's Maduro going to be? Where is Maduro going to be in the time being right now? Do you know his exact
Well, eventually, ultimately, in the near future, he's going to be brought to New York.
And where is he going to be held? Where is he going to be held in New York? Do you know?
That's going to be up to the officials that do these things.
Mr. President.
Rikers Island. Right with Netanyahu, am I right, Trump?
Mr. President, the U.S. has something of a mixed track record of ousting dictators without necessarily a plan for what comes afterwards. Did that weigh on your decision?
Well, that's why we had different presidents, but with me, that's not true. With me, we've had a perfect track record of winning. We win a lot, and we win. If you look at Soleimani, you look at al-Baghdadi, you look at the Midnight Hammer. Midnight Hammer was incredible. Right now, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. We have essentially peace in the Middle East because of that. If we weren't successful with Midnight Hammer, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. So, with me, you've had a lot of victory. You've had only victories. You've had no losses yet.
Mr. President, can you? How long do you expect the U.S. to run Venezuela, and how soon do you want the Venezuelan people to hold the watch?
So I'd like to do it quickly, but it takes a period of time. We're rebuilding. We have to rebuild their whole infrastructure. The infrastructure is rotted. It's actually very dangerous. It's blow-up territory. Oil is very dangerous. It's a very dangerous thing to take out of the ground. It can kill a lot of people. It has killed a lot of people doing just that.
What are you talking about? Why are you talking about oil, dude? What are you talking about oil for? He's talking about like restabilizing the country. He's like, yeah, oil will explode. Boom. It's the only thing in his brain.
Old. It's rotted. Much of it is stuff that we put there 25 years ago, and we're going to be replacing it, and we're going to take a lot of money out so that we can take care of the country.
Are you saying that Secretary Rubio and
Mr. President, China, Russia, and Iran have interests in Venezuela. How does this operation affect your relationships with them when it comes to oil
China
and drugs?
and Russia, Russia when we get things straightened out. But in terms of other countries that want oil, we're in the oil business. We're going to sell it to them. We're not going to say we're not going to. In other words, we'll be selling oil, probably in much larger doses because they couldn't produce very much because their infrastructure was so bad.
Oil.
So we'll be selling large amounts of oil to other countries. Many of whom are.
Oh, so the issue is that their infrastructure wasn't good, so they weren't producing the oil that you wanted them to produce. Okay.
Using it now, but I would say many more will come.
Are you saying that, Mr. President, are you saying that? Oh.
Mr. President, thank you. What is your message to the people of Venezuela today? Of course, the civilian population specifically, they have a lot of questions. What is your message to the people of Venezuela?
Well, guys, oil.
Peace, justice,
and oil.
Some of the riches that you should have had for a long period of time was stolen from you. But you're going to have peace. And you're
talking about the oil.
Have safety. You're going to have justice. You're going to have a country. You're going to have a real country. You're going to have potentially a great country. If you go back 20 years, maybe even a little longer ago, that was a great country. And they destroyed it. Remember I said that if we lose this election, the United States will be Venezuela on steroids. That's what would have happened. Had we lost the election, the 2024 election.
When has he ever said that?
We suffered so badly when you look at the border from 2020.
It's terrible.
What they did, what Joe Biden administration did.
There it is, Biden! Woo!
To our country should never be forgotten. But if we had to go through another year of that, we would be exactly where Venezuela was in terms.
We'd be fine. Is it really it was people asylum seeking? It was not ideal, but it wasn't that bad.
Say if they win, we're going to be Venezuela on steroids, and that's what would happen.
President, thank you. Are you saying that Secretary Hegseth and Rubio are going to be running Venezuela, and will you be sending in U.S. military troops to provide?
Team that's working with the people of Venezuela to make sure that we have Venezuela right. Because for us to just leave, who's going to take over? I mean, there is nobody to take over. You have a vice president who's been appointed by Maduro.
You just said that you're going to work with her. What?
And right now she's the vice president, and she's, I guess, the president. She was sworn as president just a little while ago. She had a long conversation with Marco, and she said, we'll do whatever you need. I think she was quite gracious, but she really doesn't have a choice. We're going to have this done right. We're not going to just do this with Maduro.
Yo, it looks like he has a mullet in this angle. What the fuck? What the hell's the matter with this guy? It looks like an Adult Swim cartoon. Mullet in the back, fucking neck-ussy in the front, baby.
Like everybody else, leave and say, let it go to hell. If we just left, it has zero chance of ever coming back. We'll run it properly. We'll run it professionally. We'll have the greatest oil companies in the world going to invest billions and billions of dollars and take out money. Use that money in.
They're going to invest billions of dollars. By the way, we're going to give them the money. They're going to reimburse them. Incredible.
Venezuela. And the biggest beneficiary are going to be the people of Venezuela. And also, I can't stress this strongly enough, the people that got thrown out of Venezuela, that are now in the United States, and frankly, some want to stay, and some probably want to go back. Yeah.
So, what is being done to protect Americans in the country, and were any of the detained Americans?
Well, right now they're very protected because nobody's going to mess with us. They're very protected. The people, and we let them know that you better not touch one of them.
Are you concerned that bad elements of the Maduro regime will remain in place?
Well, we know who they are. We're on them, and they're acting much differently now than they would have acted 2 days ago. Okay, wait, behind you, please.
Mr. President, why is running a country in South America America first?
Well, I think it is because we want to surround ourselves with good neighbors. We want to surround ourselves with stability. We want to surround ourselves with energy. We have tremendous energy in that country. It's very important that we protect it.
Oil, dude. Holy shit.
And we want to make sure we can protect it.
Oh, my God.
Is there a message for Cuba and Diaz-Canel?
Well, Cuba's an interesting case. Cuba is, not doing very well right now. That system has not been a very good one for Cuba. The people there have suffered for many, many years. And I think Cuba is going to be something we'll end up talking about because Cuba is a failing nation right now, very badly failing nation. And we want to help the people. It's very similar in the sense that we want to help the people in Cuba, but we want to also help the people that were forced out of Cuba and living in this country. Do you want to say something about that, Marco, please?
Well, I mean, I just gave you a statement a few minutes ago about, when the president speaks, you should take him seriously. So suffice it to say, Cuba is a disaster. It's run by incompetent,
that's so beautiful,
senile men, and in some cases, not senile but incompetent nonetheless. It has no economy. It's in total collapse. And by the way, all the guards that helped protect Maduro. This is well known. Their whole spy agency, all that were full of Cubans. I mean, it's amazing. This poor island took over Venezuela in some cases. One of the biggest problems Venezuelans have is they have to declare independence from Cuba. They tried to basically colonize it from a security standpoint. So, yeah, look, if I lived in Havana, the government, I'd be concerned at least a little bit.
Cutting off the oil flow to Cuba from Venezuela?
Well, the president already announced a week ago that anything that's sanctioned oil, it's not going to be allowed to get there. So that's an
The answer is yes.
Mr. President, is the U.S. aware of the location of opposition leader Machado, and have you been in contact with her?
No, we haven't.
Mr. President, on Monday.
Well, I think it would be very tough for her to be the leader. She doesn't have the support within or the respect within the country. She's a very nice woman, but she doesn't have the respect.
Mr. President, is it possible that the U.S. ends up administrating Venezuela for years?
Well, it won't cost us anything because the money coming out of the ground is very substantial. So
oil.
So the U.S. is going to
we will. Well, we want safety there. We want to be surrounded by countries that aren't housing all of.
Guys, we're going to take it over and we're going to use that oil money. We're going to pay for it. We're going to pay for that. It's not going to go to the billionaires that it's going to go to, and we're not going to reimburse them, even though I just said we're going to reimburse them.
Our enemies all over the world. That was happening, and you don't want to have that. But we're going to be rebuilding, and we're not spending money. The oil companies are going to go in. They're going to spend money. We're going to take back the oil that, frankly, we should have taken back a long time ago. A lot of money is coming out of the ground. We're going to get reimbursed for all of that. We're going to get reimbursed for everything that we spend. So it's going to be. It's going to be a very important. This is a very big evening that took place.
It's very important.
Last night, we have to be surrounded by safe, secure countries, and we also have to have energy. Very important. We have to have energy that's real energy, not where they're getting 4% and 5% of the energy out of the ground. You take a look. It was such a disaster. So what's going to happen with Venezuela, I think, over the next period of a year, is going to be a great thing. And the people of Venezuela.
Guys, is it any coincidence that this is coming out when the new season of Landmen is coming out? What the fuck? Did Landmen psyop us into thinking that this was cool as fuck?
Will be the biggest beneficiary.
Mr. President, U.S. military. Mr. President, thank you. What did you last speak to Maduro about when you spoke? And is the
well, I don't want to get into the conversations, but I did have conversations with him, and I said, you got to surrender. And I actually thought he was pretty close to doing so, but now he wished he did, yeah.
Mr. President, can you explain, you said that...
Mr. President, can we ever get a good microphone? We're professional media organizations.
Maduro is responsible for drug trafficking. You recently pardoned the former president of Honduras who was convicted of many drug trafficking.
Oh, fake news, am I right? Is that what he's going to say?
Can you explain how these two situations are different? And would you ever pardon Maduro?
I endorsed, as you know, the winning president, the man who won in Honduras. I endorsed the man who won in Chile. I endorsed the man who won in Argentina. And we are doing very well with that whole group. What the man that I pardoned was, if you could equate it to us, he was treated like the Biden administration treated a man named Trump. That didn't work out too well for them. This was a man who was persecuted very unfairly. He was head of the country. He was persecuted very unfairly. And there are a number of them. And we felt that it was a very unfair situation that happened to him. He's also a party member of the man who won. So obviously the people liked what I did. And one of the reasons that was done is because of the fact that the party in power felt very strongly that that man was treated very badly. I studied it very quickly, and then I studied it in great detail. I went to a lot of the people standing behind me, and they felt that that man was persecuted and treated very badly. That's why I gave him a pardon.
Mr. President, you referenced boots on the ground earlier. Can you just sort of button this up? Do you envision the U.S. military having a presence in Venezuela as the U.S. runs that country?
No, we're going to have a presence in Venezuela as it pertains to oil, because we have to have, we're sending our expertise.
Dude, the fucking oil. What the fuck?
So you may need something, not very much. But no, we're going to be taking out a tremendous amount of wealth out of the ground, and that wealth is going to the people of Venezuela.
Bro, he literally cannot stop talking about the oil. It's actually insane, like how transparent this is. I don't understand. He must be having like a fucking like dementia or something, because he shouldn't be admitting this so heavily.
People from outside of Venezuela that used to be in Venezuela, and it goes also to the United States of America in the form of reimbursement for the damages caused us by that country. So I want to thank you all very much. Thank you. Do you have one? Yes, please.
Oh, stop yapping, Trump. Shut the fuck up.
Unless it's a bad question, in which case
Shut
I'll
the fuck up.
About Putin, if you want.
About Putin.
Okay.
Always nice
You had a phone call with him
Yeah.
on Monday. Did he talk at all about Maduro? Did y'all talk about this?
No, we didn't. We never spoke about Maduro.
Are you mad at him right now? I mean, there's this
I'm not
intelligence.
thrilled with Putin. I'm not thrilled with Putin. He's killing too many people.
There was that
I
intelligence.
thought that would be so.
Guys, I thought I was going to come in a year ago and it was going to end instantly, but me literally drinking the cum of Russia didn't work. Who would have thought? Wow.
I settled 8 1/4 war. You know what the 1/4
Wow.
was? Thailand
Wow.
and Cambodia. I did it again.
What?
They broke out, and I did it in about 5 hours. And I settled it. I'm giving myself 1/4, so I'm up to now 8 1/4. In other words, I settled the war, but then they broke out. They had a pretty bad breakout over the last 4 days. I got them to go back to peace.
I thought it was at 6 or
So
7.
I only give 1/4. I thought the easiest one would be one of the easier ones would be Russia, Ukraine.
Yeah, that
It's
one
not.
makes sense. That would
They
be so
both have
easy.
Done some pretty bad things. And look, that's Biden's war. That's not my war. But I want to
Biden's
stop the last.
war.
Did you see where last month 30,000? This last it was 27,000 the month before. 30,000, mostly soldiers, were killed this last month. 30,000. I want to stop that. You know, I got NATO to pay 5% instead of the 2% that they weren't paying. They weren't
5%'s a lot.
paying 2. Now they pay 5. And we send them a lot of munitions. We send them a lot of things, missiles and various other things, a lot. And they pay. The United States is not losing money. We're probably making money on that. It's the last thing I
Probably.
care about. I just want to stop all those people. We're losing 25, 30,000 human beings. They come from 2 places that are very far away. But if I can stop, because it's something I've been pretty good at doing, deals, I guess.
Not
It's
at
all
all,
a deal.
but
Life
okay.
is a big deal. But if I can stop that war and stop
I guess maybe your life, but you don't think anyone else's life is a big deal, so.
30,000 young people, in addition to the fact that people
Yeah.
are being killed in Kiev, people are being killed in other cities, you know,
I love
a
cheeky
much smaller
Kievs.
number, but they're being killed, viciously killed. So I'm not happy about it. I thought that would be something that would get solved. We have Mr. Witkoff here. I think that we're making progress, but that's a war that should have never happened. If I were president, it would have never happened. Putin says it. Everybody says it. If I were president, that would have never happened. But I inherited that war.
Oh
that was
my
Joe
God.
Biden, Zelensky, and Putin. I came into the situation.
Yeah, and all Russia has to do is pull out, so it's his fault, no?
And it's a mess. And I will say this: I watched an operation last night that was so precise, that was so brilliant. I mean, it was incredible. If we had our people, like this general, and our people involved, that war would not have gone on very long. That I can tell you. That war, to use an old term, that war has become a bloodbath.
Whoa.
And we wanted to get stopped. Thank you very much.
Thank God.
Wow. Take over the country. Can you talk about your conversation with the vice president?
Someone should start calling them slurs. That'd be funny. Anyway, dude, like, it's fucking insane that we're basically, you know, engaging in an act of war without congressional support. We love it for oil explicitly and barely drug stuff. 90% of what he said was about oil. Barely said anything about drugs. It's transparent. If you don't see it, you're a fucking moron at this point.